Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Shelly, and tonight I am going to do a flip through of the third book in the color collection. Tonight we have the green, we have done the pink and the blue, and I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to Debbie, who purchased both the pink and the blue books from the color collection. I am so grateful. Thank you so much. Now, I don't use a kit in these books. I use, tags and ephemera from kits. Mostly Ephemera's Vintage Garden and Tsunami Rose. But I wanted to show the paper pad that I use, because this is the main paper that I use for the pink, the blue, and the green journals. And I used these papers inside and also for the cover. This is actually the paper that I used on the cover of the blue journal. And I just think they're so beautiful. Susan Wingate is the artist. K & Company. Beautiful papers. So this book, I make all of these using cereal box. And then pages, cardstock, glue. Makes them very thick, almost like a hardcover book. Not as thick, but almost as strong as a hardcover book. And I love the size because it's so perfect. It's 8 by about 5.5. So after I print my papers, they have just the barest edge of white. And when I cut that off, they're the perfect size. Fold them in half, done. This book has 4 signatures and an envelope. That is something I do in pretty much every book, and probably will do a kind of signature thing, is the envelope in every book. So you have a place to put little keepsakes. The edges, I put a gold embossed washi tape, and then over it, lace on all 4 sides. Just kind of secure it and decorate it. It looks so pretty. I absolutely am in love with this book. It's a very, very simple decoration. I did not do hardly anything to it. One thing is because the papers are so pretty, but I just thought it came out so beautiful. I didn't want to keep adding. This bow is a vintage piece of ribbon that I've had, I swear, for 20 years kicking around here. I found it at the last minute, and it so perfectly matched the book. It's a bit tattered, but I mean, this was the whole piece. It was, I trimmed off the bottom a little bit. It was the perfect size. It was the perfect color. So that was it. It was meant to be. On the corners, instead of using the regular book corners, I've put these pieces of filigree. Again, I thought they were just beautiful. And on the back too. And then the center piece is folded over on both the front and the back. It's make it more secure. That's for where you tie the closure around the book. And that will help strengthen those edges where that tie goes around, so this doesn't start to give in and collapse over time. So here's the cover. Beautiful butterflies, flowers. That's a lot of what's in here. So I make a lot of my own tags. This is from the paper, obviously. It's got coffee dyed paper on the back. These two have lines. I don't know if you can see them in this light. They have lines printed on the back. It's just a kind of coffee stained. You can see the coffee cup marks. I've talked before how I like to edge my pockets in a coordinating paper. Helps strengthen them. I especially do it on book page pockets. This is the envelope. It is decoupaged with a napkin. Beautiful colors, pretty greens and pinks. So it opens on this side, and like all my envelopes, I put some little brads here to help keep it secure when you're going in and out, so it'll hold up a lot longer. Here's a bingo card. And they're all blank on the back, all coffee dyed. And here's paper from the pad. And this is what I was talking about on the book page pockets. Paper is so old. My dictionaries and almanacs that I've been using are like 1907. The dictionary, I believe, is from the 1800s. And the paper is fragile. So a little extra trim around the edges help it hold up longer. These mason jars, I haven't used her stuff in my book before, but she has a lot of freebies, and it's Glenda's World. These are so cute. The bright flowers. And then just bingo cards and tags. Ephemera's Vintage Garden. That one and this one. That one's got the little metal embellishment. Now this one over here, I actually made a kind of a pocket out of gluing a butterfly over the bottom of here, so you can tuck something into this doily. And I doubled up the doily to make it stronger too. Lots of lined paper, lots of journaling room, a lot of tags too, and a lot of them are lined like this. These large mason jar tags are from Tsunami Rose. This fan, I have several of them in different colors, and they're from the Graphics Fairy, but you can also get them at Tsunami Rose. I've talked about this before. Tsunami Rose will do all of the work for you. I had discovered her when I knew of the Graphics Fairy, and I've got a lot of ephemera from the Graphics Fairy. I also have a lot from Tsunami Rose. But you can get your ephemera from Tsunami Rose. It's just a couple dollars for like 30 pages. It's well worth it letting her do the work. Sheet music. A lot of these pages are just things I find on Pinterest or people who do free backgrounds like IzzyBee. And this is beautiful. I love the birds and the butterflies on this paper. Not sure where I got that one, but I'm not going to know where I got every single paper. That's just too much to keep track of. When people say that they don't need to be credited. Lined paper. This is a digital stamp. I figured out how to do that, and I put that on some of the papers. These lines are done with corrugated cardboard. This is paper from the pad. Cute little pocket. This is from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. There's going to be several of these. And then there's, I think, at least 4 different pictures like this. And I made these myself. I'm trying to teach myself how to use, what's the program? Pixlr. And make some of my own stuff. I think that card turned out really pretty. This green, I dyed it using green acrylic paint and rubbing alcohol. And then the doily was done in the oven with coffee. Coffee dyed this. I love how these turn out doing that with the doily. On the back too. The lines are made from the pan. Ledger paper. This is a stencil, flourish. This piece folds out. This is Ephemera's Vintage Garden, this paper. In here, there's a little mini book. It's kind of fat. I have these pretty rub-ons here too. I'm almost out of these. I've been using them on almost every book, and now they're almost gone. this glassine bag. The mini book is barely just fits, so you have to kind of flip this over to get the book in and out. This is actually Ephemera's Vintage Garden, a little book. I think this is called The Secret Garden. And some of the pages in here. There's a couple of tags, dragonflies, butterfly stencil, butterfly paper, and then just regular notebook paper. That's some parchment paper that I stenciled on. At the end, there's a couple more tags. Did with the stencil. I thought that turned out cute. So, and this, the green on this paper here, that is more digital stamping. Here and here. And in the center of each one, there's a little green butterfly, different colors I think, and then little, like a button almost, but it's matte paper on the back, and another little butterfly. I thought that was a little kind of different. This piece also folds out. There's the other side of the ledger paper. And the other side of the coffee dyed with the doily. There's another book page pocket. Most of my book page pockets have multiple pockets in them. Nice small one. I always leave the top open like that and make it into a pocket also. Stencil tags. This is one of my favorite trims to use. There's a lace pocket. More corrugated cardboard lines. And digital stamping, lined paper. So book page. This is also a rub-on. Oh, there's a bunch of them on this book page. These yellow rose tags, I believe, are from Lilac and Lavender. They're lined on the back, and there should be about 6 of those throughout the book. These Lily of the Valley tags are also from them. I recently discovered that they had some freebies. Midsummer Night's Dream. This is Ephemera's Vintage Garden. Sheet music, lined paper. This is from a paper pad called Heirloom by Die Cuts with a View. And this has been punched. More of the lilies. Old postcard. The lily ones I also printed lines on the back. Probably at least half of the tags have lines printed on the back. So that's the first signature. This is the second one. Pretty butterflies on a kind of yellowish green paper. Now this paper is drawer liner. I use it in all of my journals. I've had it for about 20 years. It used to be scented. It isn't any longer. And I used it on this one to outline the book pages. Here's another of the yellow rose tags. Doesn't that look pretty? I just think it makes the book pages stand out, kind of. There's some more of the Lily of the Valley and these pretty green tags. Not quite sure where those came from. There's the bingo card that has index card glued to the back. Little graphic 45 tag. And this pocket is a Patricia Viramontes pocket. And I always call this little side pocket a ticket pocket. It's good for little things. And on this one, we've got some green tickets in there. Lined. This is green. I don't know if it'll show on the, but Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I think it's $1, and you can buy this lined paper for the back of your pages, and you can get it in the like regular coffee stained color, green, teal, blue, and pink. Yeah, 5 colors for $1. I love it. I put it on the back of so many of my papers. Little pocket there, and I made all of these. I printed on the back of the papers my own designs. This is one of my designs too. That's one of the 4 that I made green specifically for this journal. Pretty paper, more pretty paper. And here's another book page pocket with the rub-ons. We got another yellow rose tag, another mason jar tag, and these are Ephemera's Vintage Garden, lilac and lavender, with the lily of the valley and the yellow roses. Now these bags come from A Tattered Dream. I've talked about it before on all my other journals. These tags, a lot of them, they come out this green color because my inkjet printer ran out of red. And I just printed with it like that way. I have a laser also, but I just loved the way a lot of these looked. So I printed probably 100 tags, all different kinds, in this green ink before I filled it up with red. This is another digital stamp, a little different than the last design. This little paper is hooked on, I'll go ahead and pull it off. I'm not going to put it on though. It's got one of those cool little spiral paper clips, lace, a little button with some twine, and this goes here, and then you can write on it, and it folds up. But I'm not going to try and put it back in there right now. That can be a little difficult with those round ones. Here's another rose tag, and then this also has a yellow rose on it. Tsunami rose, where I got the large mason jar tags, and they have lines on the back, as do these. The little paper clips on some of these are just to keep the tags in the pocket. I hate when they fall out. But if I fill it up enough to make it tight, then you can't close the book. This page, I like to do this. I've done it before on a couple journals. I colored this paper with chalk. And I just color it, and then I rub it with paper towels and stuff until the chalk no longer comes off. This edge is embossed. So it's got a cool shape. A little stenciling there. This opens quite a ways. So you can draw or write, a lot of writing room right there if you have a lot to say. And this little green paper in the middle. And I think I did this with just an ink wash. This is the center. There's another green butterfly, different color this time, not so dark green. Another little, it's like a paper button, but with a clear gloss on it. And then a butterfly on the back. And then more stenciling. Here's the other side of the paper. This paper is for writing music, for composing. I don't know if you can see on this paper the lines on it. It's a little easier on this side, but the lines are on both sides. That's from my broiler pan. Copy dyeing and putting it on the broiler pan, and the broiler pan makes lines. This lined paper, I love this too. This I get from Tsunami Rose. There's a lot of places you can buy cool paper to decorate the back of your designer paper. Another lace pocket. This one, I actually could have put something in there. It's paper and then a row of lace. This is from Tsunami Rose. And then these other two I designed. This is the third from the set of 4 green. And then I did some large tags in different shapes, and one of them. And this design with the butterflies and stuff, that just comes from Pixlr. I did not do that. I didn't draw it or anything. I just went to Pixlr and put that on my paper, and that's it. Here's the digital stamping again on that side. Another bag, the other half of the bag from A Tattered Dream. We've got more tags. Here's a little pocket, little postcard. I had another one of these back there, and these are from Tsunami Rose, these cute little postcards. And this little pocket, I lined the edges of it with some washi tape. Add a little touch. Stenciled. These, there's been a few different ones. Those are from a site called Go Make Something. Sheet music, you probably can't see, but it's green. The notes and stuff are green. I really liked that. I thought it went well with this book. This is from one of the sites where I got the free backgrounds. This one I designed myself. This is from, I think it's an 8x8 paper pad, and it has maps. And so I just folded it in the shape of an envelope. Use the envelope punch board, actually. There's a map on that side, but yeah. And then, of course, it's not glued, so you can write on it. And then you just fold it up and made a little tab there. A little pocket tuck spot out of a doily in a bright green. And here's the green lined paper. And the last page on each of the 4 signatures has a pocket that's been punched like that. These cards are from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. They were made when I didn't have any red ink, so that's why they're all green. Inventory tag, it's nice, blank. So that was the second signature. Here we've got hydrangeas, everybody's favorite. Butterfly. This is outlined with stickles. They're shiny, glittery. It's so pretty. I like to do that on the edges. I think I did that on the very first. Sorry, I'm going back. No, I didn't do it on that one. Okay, I like to do that, and I make them thick so they're strong. These cards are also from Glenda's World. There's tag size and then journaling card size. And then also the mason jars were from her. And then there's a guest check. There's the pocket all trimmed out. And the top of the pocket is open for tags. Sometimes it's hard to get the paper in and out. You just gotta let the paper relax. Folding it over makes it hard. When you're pushing it back, it's like, oh, I can't get that in there. I'll just let go of it. And then they slide in so easy. Pretty paper. This is the paper that's used a lot on the trim. It's lined. Here's pretty the birds. Another pocket with the tag from Glenda's World. Ephemera's Vintage Garden, Ephemera's Vintage Garden. These are big, a different type of pocket. I love to make pockets, all different sizes and styles. Some of them I get from Patricia Viramontes. Some of them, like I designed this one myself. I mean, I'm sure other people do pockets either just like it or pretty close, but corrugated cardboard lines, digital stamping, pretty yellow paper. This is from a paper pad I have. The pocket. This is one that I designed. There's another doily, coffee dyed paper, ledger paper, stenciling, some pretty little tags. That's got a rub-on on it. Tsunami rose, lilac and lavender for the lilies. I'm saying Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I don't know. This could be Tsunami Rose. Well, the inside, this is digital stamping. All of this. Here's the center, another butterfly, and a little button. Each of these 4 little plastic paper buttons are different. This is an envelope similar to the one in the front, different shape. The colors are different. The green, because I think I inked this, so it's not nearly as bright, the colors. And also this one was embossed and then it was clear coated with like puzzle glue, and it gives it a stiffer, almost a leather-like feel. This one, to be honest, I can't remember if I put glue on the outside, which you're supposed to, but it feels so cool. I love it. It feels like fabric, and it seems to be holding up very well. So I just can't remember if I just put a matte cover on it, but it doesn't feel like it. Anyway, this one's a different shape, very tall. Look at this side with the pinks. Totally different than that other one. You wouldn't almost believe that I used the same napkin, except for they have the identical pictures. It's another tag that I just printed its lines. This stuff I think is some like old wallpaper, faded wallpaper or something, a picture of it. And I just printed out a sheet of it and cut it in 3 pieces, make it into tags. Something different. Okay. Little blessing bag, a couple more pretty green tags, lilies. It's got lace on the bag and a hummingbird rub-on. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. I'm going to be sad when I run out. Here's another long piece of paper for writing on. This paper, I think, comes from when I get like a box from Amazon. Save your paper. Okay. Another pretty pocket. This is lined with a different color, different kind. Oh, and this one has 4 pockets all the way up. We got another yellow rose in the very top pocket. Postcard. That's Ephemera's Vintage Garden. A little Lily of the Valley, and then these are Glenda's World, the little girl and the little mason jar. That's on the ledger paper, copy dyed paper with the doily. This is the green lined paper, and then I also inked this around the edges, so it looks a little different. This is something different too. I'm starting to think I did 2 of each of these, because I think that one's at the beginning of the book. I don't remember. I'm so proud of these though. but I designed those. Sorry to show off. Guest check. And then this is just a piece of paper, a plain piece of paper, but it's got one of the, this is what I used on the corners of the book, and it's just on the piece of paper. Fold the piece of paper out. It's just writing room. And I don't know if you can see it, but it has a coffee dyed, and I have like a diamond grill grid piece that I put on there, and I get the, that's how I got that diamond shape on there. Digital stamping, sheet music, that's corrugated cardboard lines. There's another fan, an inventory tag, and this is the stuff that's from Go Make Something. They have a lot of color stuff, tickets and stuff that you can use. Some grid paper, lined paper. Here's another guest check. And then, yeah, that's the second one like that. So now, yeah, I did use 2 of each of the 4. So there's probably 8 of these in here. 2 in each design. And this is the last page, so it has that punched pocket. And then the last signature, this pretty green with yellow flowers. Lace on it. And then another of the pocket made with the, lined with the drawer liner paper. This is the second tag out of the, I said I had made 3 in different shapes. All of them are large. The other one was the big oval one. And then there's a stamped tag, Roselia tag. Another one of those green ones. I wish I could remember where those came from. I like those tags. And then Glenda. And there's the drawer liner paper. This one I printed blue on the back. Another bright green doily with a guest check. This one is lined on the back. I thought so because I didn't cut the corners on that one. The big Lily of the Valley, those are lined. See how there's so much writing room. Okay, this is the Tsunami Rose lined paper. Pretty green with a tulip. This is old time, like elementary school paper. And this idea here I got from Patricia Viramontes. She makes a tag from her guest checks. My guest checks are printed. They are not real guest checks. I print it from online. It's not a tattered dream bag. Paper with the digital stamping. This green lace, I dyed that with a homemade dye that I made from some blue ink and yellow food coloring and just combining stuff. I think I even added a little coffee to give it that kind of old look. But yeah, I didn't have any green lace, so I dyed my own. All of this lace in here that's green, there's a few places. Except that, I don't think I did that. That's a digital stamp design that I made. Here's some of the lines on the paper from my broiler pan. See that? And this is the same paper that's colored with chalk and then embossed on the edge. Here's some paper stenciled. What's this? fold out. Oh, fold out on this side. That's why. A couple more tags, cards, journaling cards. See, this has green lace on it. And adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Okay, and then the last little paper button and a butterfly. This piece folds out also. And this stenciling, if you have a black pen, you write right over that. I think that looks cool. There's the music paper, coffee paper, there's lined. Okay, this pocket has all kinds of stuff in it. Start up here with the inventory tag. And then this has a pretty little butterfly with the green gemstones on it. Tsunami Rose postcard. This is a Patricia Viramontes pocket. It's all the fancy little, it's got the little ticket pocket. That's what I call it. And there's a little butterfly with a little green gemstone on it. And then these are stamps. Not real stamps. And tickets. These tickets are from Tsunami Rose. Very colorful, aren't they pretty? And then a little rose card I put in there so as not to cover up the butterfly. A digital stamp in the bag with the 3 more Tsunami Rose postcard, Ephemera's Vintage Garden. These I just made with some old script paper, and then I cut them out with a die cut that's shaped like that. So I made those. This paper is from the Heirloom Pad by Die Cuts with a View. Very cool paper, one of my favorites. Pretty image. Here's the, that's probably the last of the cards that I designed. This is Galanda's World. And then the Tsunami Rose lined paper back there. And here's the last of the 3 large tags made with this green butterfly paper. And the top of that pocket. And then a couple Lily of the Valley in the 2 different sizes. Both are lined on the back. Big pocket. This one was sewn around the edges. There's a lot of threads here that I've left hanging. Those are mostly from sewing pockets and sewing the lace on. There's some lined paper, drawer liner paper. The last pocket with the punch. And then that was one of mine. And Lilac and Lavender with the yellow rose. Goes perfect with this last pocket. And that's it. Pretty paper. This is the gold filigree bent over. These centerpieces, I don't remember if I finished saying. That one is a diamond shaped piece. And then I put half of it on the outside and bend it and glue it. And I painted these gold. They're originally a brass color like this. So you can see there's a pretty big difference in the color. So yeah, I painted them gold. I'll have to figure out where that goes. That's it. That's it, everybody. Thank you. I've been showing my eBay address at the end of each video, but I have learned how to put a link in the description. So if you are interested in purchasing, you don't have to do the search through eBay, which can be confusing anyway, but there will be a link. You just click on the link, it will take you directly to the eBay listing for the journal. So, and I will try to have them both done at the same time so that when you see this, you can go look at the listing and it'll be for sale. Okay, so now let's see. I wanted to say 80 sheets of paper, 160 pages, front and back. Tags. Oh, I counted, but is this right? 30, 60, 90, 117, it looks like. 117 tags, 160 pages. And that mini book that's in the glassine bag, the little fat one with the lace, that's 36 pages right there. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment. I'm new here. I need some subscribers and some comments, some likes. Either one or all three. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. God bless. Good night.